one of those ways that you could definitely
Oh
waste
no,
your time on. I saw 65 last night, the latest
no,
Adam
don't.
Driver sci-fi adventure flick and all that. Um,
It was
yeah, it was.
great.
Well,
Please
it
tell me
was.
you loved it.
It was one of those things where, so I didn't watch Scream 5, right? And I kind of fell off the whole Scream bandwagon after, I believe, 2, Scream 2. Just because, like, I thought it was interesting. They were interesting movies, but I kind of just was not, into it, and not, I'm curious about it now, especially since I heard it's gotten really good. And I heard this new one is actually better than the fifth one, the last one. But I'm like, all right, it's gonna be either Scream 6, which I have no context because I didn't watch the last one, or 65. So I chose 65, and I think I chose pretty poorly. The movie
Oh
was
no,
pretty
oh
bland,
no.
to say the least. It was one of those sci-fi movies. It felt like I was really watching a B movie. And but it's weird because it's a B movie starring a really, really well established actor, up and coming, a huge, person and all that. And I can tell that he was really trying his best in this movie. Like he was really into it. I thought his acting was even better than his acting on Star Wars, which is saying a
Okay,
lot. But the
okay.
movie itself was just really, really bland. And it followed so many of the same typical sci-fi adventure tropes and all that at certain times it was kind of predictable, or you kind of knew what was going to happen. If you remember movies like Peter Jackson's King Kong, um, everything that they did or that they were going through involved a lot of creatures and invasive creatures. So there wasn't any moment where they had like good character building or anything like that. It was always them of avoiding this group of creatures or this group of dinosaurs, or if they're sleeping, something comes in and tries to attack them. It's like it's just always something happening, right? Which I guess is great if you're looking for like the adventure and action stuff, but even during those moments it felt pretty bland. It wasn't like anything that was like, oh my god, like this is nuts, and I can't stop watching and all that stuff. I felt like a lot of the good moments were shown in the trailer, which is also unfortunate. But I also find it funny
Yeah.
that I question what their budget was, because every time there was a dinosaur on screen, it was either camouflaged by environment, or it was in the dark. So I think they did this on purpose to kind of
Hmm,
save money on the budget
hmm.
for the visual effects. When you did see them in daylight, it was either from a very long, far distance, or there's this one moment, and I'll go into spoilers because I don't think I'm going to be spoiling anything for anyone, because it's either you're going to watch it or you're not going to watch it. Where Adam Driver gets attacked by a dinosaur, and it just looked off. It just looked, because the dinosaur itself was very dark, and then when it was on the ground, I don't know if this was an editing mistake, but the head of the dinosaur was like off screen, but you only saw the body on screen. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is like a really bad editing choice. Like, why did they just, like, I'm looking at the dinosaur's leg instead of the entire full body and the head. And I'm like, what are they doing here? So it's unfortunate. I like the premise of the movie. And again, I are you planning to watch this movie at all?
Not anymore, Rene. I'm a big enough Adam Driver fan,
Yeah.
but I also am not in love with the genre. So
Uh-huh.
sometimes I'll kind of TBD. A lot of celebrities will go into these types of
Sure.
movies, try it out, have some fun out there. The fact that he's going all in, I'm not surprised. I saw the dude on Broadway a few years ago. Man is intense, and he was doing that
Yeah.
every single night. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's just kind of what he does
Hmm.
at this point. Um, I wasn't dying to see it, and now I'm thinking I might skip it. Unless someone's like, no, you got to watch it because of this reason that I don't know.
Right.
Also, the this just in 65's Rotten Tomato score is a career worst for Adam Driver.
Whew, I am
So
not
you're not.
surprised.
It seems like
Yeah.
you're not alone in this opinion. The only
Yeah.
you said there's the monster thing, which is a common motif in movies. My question is, was there a moment when we thought they were going to get eaten by one thing, and then a bigger thing came and ate that thing?
Of course there was. Of
Okay, I'm
course
just
there
making
was.
sure. If not, I might go see it because I'm like, well, they're innovating because every single if you're avatars,
Yeah.
Jurassic Parks, whenever you've got the big, and then they go, oh, he's not scared of us anymore. We win, and then and then they realize, oh, I should be scared of that thing. It's every time, dude.
Yeah.
And
No,
you're
I
telling me
mean,
that they're doing the tropes. I already know what trope they're doing.
yeah. It's all like, again, if you're familiar with the Jurassic Parks, if you're familiar with the what's that? Skull Island, Peter Jackson's King Kong, like when they
Yep.
were on the
Yep.
island where Kong is, it's just inundated with a lot of animals and creatures, and everywhere they go there's always a new threat. And then they do the misdirection where they're being attacked by one thing, but then there's something bigger behind them or something else comes in. Every single trope that you are familiar with, this movie has it. So it made like again and again, I'm going to spoil this for all of you right now, but I really strongly feel that most of you are probably not going to care. But I'm just giving a heads up. Spoiler alert. If you want to be surprised watching this movie, then I'd skip this portion until I start waving my hands again and all that stuff like that. So when I wave my hands again, that means spoilers are done. So the one innovative thing that I do like about this movie that they don't hint at in the trailer is that when you watch the trailer, you feel like, oh, Adam Driver is flying in space and he accidentally travels back in time, right? And now he is like, in the land of the dinosaurs. That's not exactly what's happening. What's happening is that he comes from a different universe, a different planet altogether that is way advanced than we are. And he has to travel through space on a supply mission and ends up crash landing on Earth, but our Earth 65 million years ago. So he comes from a civilization that's well advanced and way like farther advanced than we are. And he just happens to crash land on our underdeveloped planet when, we were still in the Jurassic age and all that stuff like that. Here's a twist. He crash lands on our planet at that time, right the week when the asteroid's about to hit. So not only are they dealing with the threat of the dinosaurs, but they're also, dealing with the threat of this impending asteroid coming in to crash down on them. So that premise alone, I actually really thought was cool. It's the execution of about everything else that was just like, really? Like you couldn't have done this better to make it more exciting or more intense or whatever. It's like a lot of things were very predictable. When you crash land and he's transporting, crew, of course all the crew's gonna die. Like we knew he was the only lone survivor except for this one girl. The girl doesn't even speak English. So, they have that communication problem. It's basically your, wolf and cub situation where he has to help transport this little kid to safety, and all that stuff. And then at the end, as they're about to escape, that's when they get attacked by the big giant dinosaurs. And the dinosaur that they encountered in the beginning came back looking for revenge and all that stuff. Like, I'm gonna get you suckers for like shooting me in the face. So it was just very tropey. And but again, it's unfortunate because the premise itself was actually really good. I like the twist on the story because I wasn't expecting it to be, oh, it's another universe that they're coming from, a far advanced civilization than ours at that time. There was no time travel or anything like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting and cool. But if anything, I would say if you do end up watching this movie, this is like a good like bad movie night. If you're just in the mood for something really bad to throw up on the TV once it's streaming, If you want background noise and all that stuff, or if you just want to see Adam Driver give his all in a sci-fi epic adventure, then it may be worth checking out. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody.
Rene, because of the spoilers, I'm waiting for you to wave your hands.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Spoilers are
'Cause,
done, so
yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
there's a chance I see this movie, so I just muted you for a long time, then just kind of kept unmuting, being like, and you would say, and then at the end, and oh no no, and just I'm gonna give the movie a shot of me possibly seeing it because once it's spoiled and bad reviews and not my genre, it's just not happening. So I trust that what you said was very entertaining, and this is my feedback where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for telling me all of that, and for spoiling it because now, yeah. Um, what was your favorite part of all that? Yeah. How did I don't have any follow-ups. I'm not interested in this movie at all. You already answered. My only question would be how was Adam Driver?
Yeah.
If it was an acting study, like he's doing a one-man show level performance, maybe I'd go
Mhm.
see it on that. But it doesn't even sound like it's worth it overall.
No, and like I said, like he definitely gave his all. I question why he decided to do a movie like this, but maybe he just wanted to try something different. Maybe he's preparing himself for if he were to be cast in another sci-fi epic or whatever. Could we see him in Dune 3? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, it's unfortunate. All the bad ratings on Rotten Tomatoes is definitely well deserved, I think, and that's why I just ended up giving it 2 stars. And it sucks because it's the same rating that I gave Creed 3, and I think this movie was much worse than Creed 3.
That's why your half-star
So
system doesn't add up at all. Doesn't make sense because you could have a 1.5 and a 2.5 at that point. This does
I may
not sound like
be
a two-star movie based on what you said, my friend.
reconsidering in changing my Creed 3 score to 3. Um,
Huh. Okay.
yeah, because
That's
I
the
took
logical
some
approach here for sure.
yeah, I took some time to think more about it, and maybe I just need to watch it again. But it is look, I watched the first Creed recently again this week. That's another movie
Mm,
I rewatched. Holy shit,
same.
that movie is just
Yep.
fucking so good. It's so well
Pound for
done.
pound.
Oh, it's like it's hard to compare that movie with 2 and 3 because it's night and day, really.
Yep. If you were going to give it 2 stars, they would have called it Creed 2. It's Creed 3. You got to give it. I think that's how this works. I'm not sure why they even give it those numbers. The system doesn't make any sense to me. So 3 stars sounds good to me.
Sure.
This movie was so bad, you just started adjusting all of your other movie scores better.
Yeah,
Now
that's
that
it.
you
I
did
just
this
like
one, that's
yeah.
what level of movie quality we're talking about. Love that. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, let us know in the comments when you're watching live or after the fact. Is 65 a movie you're planning to watch, or are you happy that I spoiled it for you just now so that you don't have to watch it at all? Let us know in the comments because I'm definitely curious about that for sure.